Hey everybody, my name is Mike Tomorrow and I want to welcome you to the latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. Today we're talking about road trips! Yay! We all gotta love road trips, don't we? And going on a road trip can be very fun for anybody. I do love going on road trips a lot. When I was a kid, we went on a lot of road trips. Or a lot of camping vacations, so it'd be a road trip, you know? And myself personally, as I started getting used to driving, and I've gone on road trips too, and I enjoy those as well. You know, road trips is the best part about the adventure, other than getting to the place that you're going to. Why, you ask? Because you get to see things that you don't normally see, and you get to go to places that you normally don't go to, and it's an adventure out there. You never know what's going to be on a road trip when you go on a road trip. I like going on road trips because you get to see a lot of places. I have been on quite a few road trips in my life, from Massachusetts to Florida, and each one is a different one for me because you never know what you're going to encounter on the roads, and then sometimes you take another road that you don't go on normally, or you don't go on the same roads as we normally do. And it's an adventure because you get to go on a road that you've never been to, or you get to go to a place that you never get to, and it's a fun adventure. So I really love going on road trips, and you gotta enjoy road trips to enjoy life. You know, I think going on a road trip is probably the best part of my life here. You know, but anyways, I do enjoy the road trips as well because you get to. If it's a long road trip, you get to stop overnight at a hotel or two. And it's more fun. Because you get to go to a hotel, you get to relax, you get to spend a night, so you don't get tired out while driving. And that's probably the best suggestion I have, is if you have a long road trip, you ever get tired, stop over at a rest area if you need a little sleep, or if you need a night's sleep, go over to the hotel. They'll help you out. And then having a guidebook or maps would be a good idea too, so you know where you are and you can plan on where you would need to be. GPS is really a helpful tip too, or a helpful item, because it does help you a lot. GPS will tell you how far it is to the location, or how far it is to the destination. The map may not provide for you. Well, the map may provide for you, but it doesn't really tell you where exactly you are. Like, GPS will tell you where exactly you are. Like, I know in some states, the exit numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas some of the states have 1, 5, 9, 15, 25, and that's easier to know because that's mileage-based exit numbers. And that's a whole lot easier to do and plan because you know how many miles it is until the state border. If you're going south and west. If you're going north and east, it's not. It can be a little difficult to figure out how many miles it is to the next state border, but once you figure out what the last exit is in the northern or eastern part of that state on that roadway, then you can figure out, oh, it's this miles to the last exit of the state, so we're almost at the state border. But anyways, I do love going on road trips because it does provide me with a little chance to think what's going on in this world. And I do have my satellite radio, so I can listen to that while on the road, and I don't have to worry about changing the radio station. Unless I do have to change the radio station on the receiver so that I can hook up. Where I know some of the satellite radios today and some of the cars today have satellite radios, so you don't have to worry about messing around with the channels. But on some of the older cars, you don't have that luxury, and you still have to figure out what channel goes on which. And, but I know on a couple of cars I had a cassette player, and I could plug in that the tape and then have the satellite radio come from there, and then you don't have to worry about messing around with the radio stations, and you'd be okay, you know. But anyways, I do enjoy going on the road because, you know, it gets a chance to get you out of the house, get you out of where you are, and get you out there to go someplace new, you know. Like every road trip for me is different from Massachusetts to Florida because sometimes I would take a different road than I would not normally go on normally, and then I would take a different way sometimes too. So that's why it's different for me every single time I go on the road. You know? Like sometimes I'd go for Philadelphia to get down there. I would get off the New Jersey Turnpike, go over to 95 there, and get into Pennsylvania, which is a free bridge, so go on there and go down to Philadelphia, and there you go. Or sometimes I would go on 81, and I would take that down for the mountains of Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia, Tennessee, and there you go. And then you take 40 from there, or 26, 77, whatever route you want to take, you know. Well, it's a fun adventure no matter which way you go or which roads you take. Because if it's your first time on that road, it's cool because you get to see the sights that you don't get to see or you never seen before, you know. But anyways, but yes, speaking of that topic of 81 or 95, I did post that on one of the Disney fan groups on Facebook. Which way do you take, 81 or 95 down to Florida? 95 along the coast, 81 through the mountains. You know, and I have mixed answers on there too. I've gone both in my personal life. I've gone both ways, 81 and 95, and they're both good roads. You know, other than 95 is tolls, and you have all these cities. 81 is beautiful, but it's a little out of the way too. Not that much out of the way, but it does take you a little out of the way. It is a scenic route, 81 is, and truckers do prefer to take 81 over 95 any day because of the tolls on 95 and the cities. Whereas 81, you don't have that many cities. You know? Like, I know one trip coming from Florida back up to Massachusetts from my college program I took 75 up to Atlanta, and then I took a back roads into Alabama, and then I reunited with 75 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, spent the night in Chattanooga, and then took 75 up to 40 and took that across to 81 to 84. And that was a good ride, you know? I had never been to Tennessee before, and that was my first ever time in Tennessee, and Alabama actually too, and it was a great adventure, you know. I enjoyed seeing the pretty sights of Tennessee and Alabama. You know, it was a little dark in Alabama when I went, but it was pretty nice that I got to go through that area, go through a place that I never been to before. The Alabama was out of the way, but you know, it was well worth it. Saying I've been to Alabama before. Yeah. Yeah. And then the next time I went on 81 to go down to Florida, it was like, when I got into Tennessee, I was like, where the heck am I? Where the heck am I? So I was like, kind of in a hurry at that point. So I was like, let's put on a GPS and figure out where we need to go. So we had to take 40 out through the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina, pick up 26, and take that down to 95. You know, so. But I know some people do take 81 to 77 to 26 and across, too. But, anyways. And then there are some trips on 95 that I enjoy going through, too. Like, I know one time I went through the city of Washington. And that was fun, going through the city of Washington, and, you know, it was like there was like a little shortcut or a little connect point, so I was like, it took a little bit faster to take that way. So we did that, you know. But anyways, when I go on a road trip to Florida, I always like to try to leave by 8 a.m. the earliest, because you want to try to get through New York after rush hour. Though I did leave at one point, I think I left at 5 a.m. on one of the trips, 5 or 6 a.m. And I made it through New York City by 8 or so, and then Philadelphia by like around 10. So it wasn't that bad. But the problem is, Washington, D.C., if you try to go through there like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday, you're going to be stuck in traffic in Washington. And it's going to be a long trip for you if you get stuck in traffic in Washington. Now, I know in north of Baltimore on 95 and south of Washington, there are the express lanes, the easy pass lanes. You have to pay a toll to go through those roads, and you have to have a transponder in your car. But that'll save you some time on the roads. They're the express lanes. They have them in Miami on 95 as well. And they're going to build some on, I think, 275 in Tampa, and I think they're going to build some on I-4 in Orlando. It's just a quicker way to get to someplace. Anyways. If you do go on a road trip and you get tired, please stop at a hotel. I'll tell you that much right now. Try to find the cheapest one as you can. For me, I have to have the cheapest one with Wi-Fi and TV, so I can watch TV. Put me to sleep that way. Then also, if you feel like you have to stop, please make sure you do stop. If you're running out of gas, make sure you get gas before you run out. Because if you run out of gas, man, it's going to be tough to get a tow truck sometimes, depending on where you are. And then depending on who can help you out, So make sure you do plan accordingly when you travel. Do plan on stopping for bathroom breaks, gas breaks, food breaks. Sometimes you can do that all at once, but other times you can hold out on getting gas, or hold out on using the restroom, or hold out on food. But you do try to do all those things at once so that you can stop at one place, and there you go. Now, here's a recommendation on doing that. Go to Pilot. They have a rewards program that you can use anywhere across the country. You get the card, the preferred card there, the Pilot and Flying J card. You stop at any Pilot or Flying J, you get save money on gas, and then you save money on drinks and food and whatever else they need. And then on your birthday month, you get a free dessert at like the Subway that they have, or the Wendy's, or any of the restaurants they have in there. If you do travel on your birthday month, there you go. Of course, if you stop at Denny's on your birthday, it's free Grand Slams. So that's a good thing to know. And some of the other gas companies have programs too, like the Plenty program that came out. You have Mobil that's part of it, and Exxon. So if you stop at Mobil or Exxon, you can fill up and get some Plenty points. And that's a good thing to know. And also, if you do travel on a road, if you travel on the highway and it's a toll road, you will have a service area, which will have restaurants in it. They might be a little pricey, but it can be good for you. I know I like to go to Pilot or Flying J, and I try to stop at those if I can to fill up. And I might now need to fill up a mobile because of the Plente points that I can get with the Plente card. And you can get a Plente card too at Plente.com. So. But anyways, do be safe while driving too, because you don't want to get into an accident far away from home and then try to get home afterwards. It's a nightmare. So please be safe while driving. Please slow down while driving, because some other states, the cops will pull you over and they'll give you they'll slam you hard with a big fine. So for speeding or something like that, and make sure you do have a copy of your insurance in your car. I know some states, Massachusetts does not. You do not have to carry a copy of your insurance, but you will run into states where you need to have a copy of your insurance. So please make sure you have an insurance card or a copy of your insurance policy in the automobile, so that if you do get stopped or pulled over, you can pull that information right out, or if you have an accident, you can have that information right there and then. So. But anyways, please drive safely out there. And hey, if you have any comments or any suggestions on a road trip, or if you've been on a road trip, hey, fill that out. Please let me know, and I'll answer your questions, Fill out the comment section, or fill it out, talk to me on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll have a fun time, So, alright folks, please drive safe and buckle up.